Hello, I'm Preston Spratt with Sprattronics Learning Lab, and today we're going to be doing our Tiny World Microscope class. This tool right here is one of my absolute favorite tools. This is a microscope. This tool can open up wonders and worlds that are just fascinating, things that we don't get to see day to day, but that's happening right below our feet. We're going to learn some words today all about our microscope. We're going to learn how to use it. We're going to collect some samples from the field to observe under our microscope. And then we're just going to take a look at how this can be a fun activity for you and your family to do anytime you go on a hike, when you go outside, or even if you're just playing around in your room. So let's get started. This tool right here is a microscope. And this microscope, yes, it looks small. It doesn't look like it's a big microscope that they might use at a high school or in college. But this tool right here is better than all of those because it's with you anytime you want. Small enough to fit in a pocket, light enough to carry with you on a hike, on a camping trip, or just to keep in the car. So some words we're going to learn today. We're going to learn 4 words in order to talk about our microscope and in order to use our microscope. And the first word, microscope, that's what this is. The microscope helps us to see things that are teeny tiny that we wouldn't normally be able to see with just our eye. This is a microscope. And so that is our first word, microscope. Now, our next word is eyepiece. And at the top of the microscope is the eyepiece. This is where you look through it. Your eye goes there. So on top of the microscope is the eyepiece. Right below that is our zoom wheel. This changes the magnification. This allows us to zoom in on teeny tiny objects like a ladybug, or a bee, or a blade of grass, or the underside of a leaf. It also lets us zoom out so that we can see more of the specimen that we're looking at. Below our microscope, we have our focus knob. This little knob right here allows us to focus in on the object that we're looking at. Microscope, eyepiece, zoom wheel, focus knob. Those are our 4 words that we're going to be talking about today. This piece right here, it's great, but you don't need it with you. This is the specimen tray. If you catch a bug and want to bring it inside, you can place that bug right on that tray and push it down on it. One more thing that we're going to talk about with our microscope, we have a light. And so you're going to press that light in order to illuminate the object that you're looking at. One thing that I like to do, just to get used to it, I like to turn my magnification all the way to the right, that way, so that it says 20 times. And then I just hold the microscope up to my hand and I'm looking for the little lines that are on my hand. So I turn my light on, I look through the eyepiece, and then I adjust the focus just a little bit until I can see all the ridges on my finger. That's perfect. This little microscope right here magnifies just as much, if not more, than the microscopes that you probably have at school. And this one you can take anywhere and explore anything. The next thing that we're going to do, now that we know all about our microscope, we need to collect some samples that we're going to observe using our microscope. What I want you to do, grab any kind of container. This is just a sandwich container from our lunchbox. You could use the leftover turkey container. You could use a jar. Maybe you have a special bug catcher. But any kind of container. And we're going to go out and we're going to gather up some samples that we want to look closely at. I'm going to collect my samples from my neighborhood, right around my apartment. We're going to go to a park and find maybe some flowers. We're definitely going to find some leaves that have fallen. I'm going to be on the hunt for some bugs. We recently had a lot of stink bugs that were flying around, and if I can catch one of those, I'd love to look at one up close underneath our microscope. So join me now as we go out and collect our samples. Now that you've collected your samples, we're going to take out our microscope and we're going to really start to explore the world below us. Remember those words that we talked about? We talked about microscope, which is the tool that we use to see things that are tiny. The eyepiece, that is the part of the microscope that we look through. We have the zoom wheel, that makes the objects bigger or smaller that we're looking at. And finally, we have the focus knob, and that allows us to focus in order to see the picture. It takes the picture that may be fuzzy and sharpens it to make it clear.
If you look at the petals, they actually kind of look like fingers or skin.
Oh, and it still has pollen on it.
What do you see, Dalton?
Okay, so it looks like literal like skin with wrinkles on it. Try. Isn't that looks like skin?
Yeah.
It does. Or animal hide. So excited about this feather. Oh my goodness.
Let me see.
You know how you usually think like feathers are gonna be like really fuzzy? It literally looks like sticks coming out of one of those really spiky branches.
It's like a line here.
I know.
And one over
And then you have
there.
just a whole bunch of lines, yeah, coming out. It looks like a stick.
So you looked at the feather?
Yeah, the feather just has
It's amazing.
Line.
I'm gonna go for the sand now.
I'm going for this straw.
I have to.
And you're...
Oh, that looks like salt. Henry, look at this. Oh, right, berry.
This is what's inside of a red berry.
Did you look at this dandelion leaf?
Oh, no, I have not.
Try to grab this dandelion. There should be a whole dandelion in there.
Oh, I see one.
Well, I found it up here.
That's the lamb's ear.
I got Lindsay.
Let's see it. Let's check out the lamb's ear.
Oh my. Okay, you have to see this then. Look at this. Did y'all look like, oh, that's a hairy leg. Oh, wow. Henry, look at this. It looks like a giant's hairy elbow. But it's like a green giant's hairy elbow. Henry, come here. This is crazy. This is insane.
What?
This is like an ad to science.
Let me see.
Henry, can you hold your finger out so I can look at the ridges on your finger?
I can't believe you picked up a straw though.
I know.
Oh.
It is so funny.
Oh my. Oh.
What do you see?
It's like skin. All of this looks like skin.
I
Look at
guess
it,
it's.
look at it.
I guess.
Hop up. Okay, look at
That's
it.
the way.
Can you see it?
Ooh, see the big one.
Okay, so ready? Watch. This is Henry's fabric. And then watch this. Look at that. Oh my, it's missing an arm.
Thanks for joining me for Tiny Worlds. You've now learned how to use a microscope, you've collected samples to look at under your microscope, and hopefully you're excited about all the things that you can show off and discover using your tool. Thank you and have a wonderful